Good day everyone. We are the group 5 and we are going to discuss about the gender and language in education. Gender and language in education refers to the ways in which gender identity and language interact within educational settings. It encompasses how gender influences language use, communication patterns, and the construction of gender roles and expectation in educational contexts. This includes examining the impact of gendered language in educational materials, the role of language in shaping gender identities, and the importance of promoting gender equity and inclusive practices in education. Understanding this intersection is crucial for creating inclusive learning environments that challenge gender stereotypes and promote equal opportunities for all students.
The development of gender and studies in the classroom. Educational settings are important settings for the constructions of gender and the reproductions of a range of gendered norms, practices, relationship, representations, and identities. There is a sizable and diverse body of the study. Studies have examined how the teacher's attention is distributed between the boys and girls in the classroom during teacher-student interactions. Other research have concentrated on gender disparities and language behavior inequalities in student-student interactions, such as the volume of speech that the boys and girls make in class or their turn-taking and interruptions pattern. Newer research examines the discourses and gender's identities and play in educational contexts, moving away from generalizations and differences of gender.
Gender and language in the foreign language classroom. This section provides an overview of research on gender and language in the foreign language classroom. It concentrates on the areas of classroom interaction, the teacher to student and the student to teacher talk, as well as student to student talk, language learning and assessment, and language teaching materials.
Classroom interaction. Classroom interaction refers to teacher to student talk, such as initiating conversation, asking questions, giving directives. Student to teacher talk, for instance, answering and peers work activities. Classroom interaction is an interaction that takes place either between teacher and students or among the students in their class. According to Brown, 2000, defines interaction is the collaborative exchange of thoughts, feelings, or ideas between two or more people, resulting in a reciprocal effect on each other. The term classroom interaction refers to the interaction between the teacher and learners and amongst the learners in the classroom. Earlier studies of second language classroom interaction focused on the language used by the teacher and learners, the interaction generated, and their effect on L2 learning.
Language learning and assessment. In terms of foreign language acquisition, findings are inconsistent and depend on various factors, such as the setting where learners are exposed to a new language. In the first language L1 acquisition literature, some researchers have claimed that girls are inherently verbally superior to boys in the acquisition of some aspect of their L1.
Language teaching materials. Teachers need to be vigilant about problematic representations of gender in teaching materials, and more generally, addressing gender bias in the classroom. The majority of studies focus on textbooks for teaching of English as a second foreign language to students. That was according to STEM 1976, Hartman, Jude 1978, Hellinger 1980, Forka 1964, and lastly Pursley 1992. However, some studies also examine teaching materials for modern languages like French, Spanish, and German. These studies revealed that female characters in teaching materials were underrepresented in terms of visibility and were negatively portrayed in the text. At the same time, content studies of textbook for language instructions showed that there were masculine characters present. In other words, there are more male characters than female characters in the textbooks, and the male characters also tended to have more powerful.